explicitly to run it in sequential by coming to this advanced tab, selecting either of these two. If you select sequential, I am explicitly making this DB to UDB ABI to run in sequential. And coming to the combinality mode, right? There is only two options: combinable and don't combine. That what is the purpose of having these two AC? Each and every stage that we are putting inside a job, okay, can be clubbed into one process. Eventually, see all these stages, code, irrespective of data stage, whatever code we write, whatever may be the programming language, each module of the code internally will be run through a thread. You know the concept of thread, right? Threads. Hello? Yeah, Nika, you know the concept of threads, right? Yeah. Threads are processes. It is something like whatever may be the code, it will be run within the 1 second, Nika.
Okay.
Made it. So whatever may be the code, eventually how the processor is going to look into it, it looks into it as a thread or some process. Okay, all the code would be placed into one particular thread and it makes it to run inside this processor. So what the meaning of combinable or don't combinable means, now data stage how it does, right? If there are 4 or 5 stages placed in a single job, it is going to club 2 or 3 stages into one process or into one thread and then it starts running. The benefit that you, yeah, tell me.
Can you come again?
No, 1 second. Okay, if let us say source 1, okay, some transformer 1, transformer 2, transformer 3, okay, and target 1. This is the job, let us say. Now what I am saying, generally data stage what it will do, it will put first 3 stages into one particular thread. One particular process. See, eventually, even though you are seeing here some pictorial kind of representations, underlying a code would be generated. I told you, right? For parallel jobs, orchestrate code would be generated. So whatever code that gets generated out of stage 1, transformer 1 and transformer 2 would be combined together into a single thread and it would be processed by the processor. Okay. Similarly, T3 and T1 will be once again placed back into one more thread and it would run. The benefit that the processor thinks is, if more number of threads comes into picture, okay, scheduling mechanism comes into picture and it would eat up the time for swapping between the threads. So what the processor does, it is going to club 2 or 3 stages into a single process and it is going to run, like it limits the number of processes and it runs faster without swapping mechanism. It optimizes the number of processes that it will be creating based on its internal structure. So now what it is going to do, if I use a combinality mode as combinable, that means you are asking data stage saying that, boss, you just look into my operating system and you can decide like how many stages you need to club together and create as process and all. You are giving that flexibility for data stage to decide upon how many number of stages need to be put in a process or not. But if I use don't combine, I am explicitly saying to data stage that no, don't use the combinality feature. Don't combine 2 or 3 stages into a single thread. For each and every stage, I want a dedicated thread. That is what I am saying. The benefit that developer gets out of this particular thing is, if there is any error or if there is any error occurred during the job run, there might be certain scenarios where you can't actually get exactly the reason why the job has failed in the directory.
Okay.
Sometimes when you run the job, right, you will be getting an error, fatal error, but you will not be able to figure out what it is actually. Okay, you will not get proper details out of it. So in that case, what you can do, the only way that you can do is, one of the way that you can do is in the combinality mode, right, set don't combine. Now what happens, each and every stage statistics will be shown in the director. Each and every stage statistics, in the sense, now each one thread would be dedicated for a single stage, right? So for each and every stage, logs will be placed. Earlier when it combined together, some of the logs will be missed in the single. You are able to follow me, right? What is the purpose of having combinality mode? Yeah. And coming to this preserve partitioning, okay, actually this is very much important in your job designing to improve the performance. Now see, there are a lot of partitioning flags like clear, propagate, set and default. Now what happens, partitioning, right, let us say this is the stage 1, T1 and T2. Let us say T1 has set one particular partitioning technique, say hash partitioning technique, and we from the developer end, I am clear that T2 doesn't have any specific requirements on any specific key. So what I can ask, I can actually make this particular T1 to use the this T2 to use whatever partition technique has been defined by T1, right? I no need to once again define here. Why? Because I know that T2 is not at all having any specific requirement with any of the specific columns. So what I can ask, I can ask T1, I can ask T2 to use whatever T1 has set. Okay, so now let us say now I have opened the T1 stages preserve partitioning tab. Okay, now let us say this preserve partitioning tab corresponds to T1. So here what I am saying, default propagate means whatever the settings that corresponds to the partitioning here, right, it would be propagated to the next stage. Okay, when I say clear means, see, let us say previous stage has sent some of the settings to this particular stage. Okay, previous stage has sent some of the settings to this particular stage, and it is not interested to use whatever the previous stage has sent. Previous stage they said the propagate only, but I am not interested to use those settings, so I can use clear. And when I use clear, and I am also saying that I am not interested to propagate it to the next stage as well. I will set my own partitioning technique. I don't want to use any of yours, either previous stages settings, or I am also not interested to pass it to the next stage. Okay, that is the meaning of clear. Coming to the propagate, it is something like whatever may be coming from the source, I am not bothered. I have set my own settings here. I want these settings to be propagated to the further stages. Like whatever settings T1 has sent, I am not going to use it. T2 has already set its own settings, and it is actually trying to propagate it to T3.
Okay.
That is the meaning of your propagate. Coming to the set. Set is I just misguided you. So propagate is something like whatever settings are coming from T1, it would be accepted by T2 and it would be sent to T3. Okay, nothing would be done by T2. Just it is something like a mediator. So whatever settings are coming by T1, T2 also will use, and it is asking and it is directly passing it to the next stage T3 when we use propagate. When we use set, right, T2, whatever explanation I gave earlier, like T2 will not think about whatever T1 is sending. It just whatever settings that it had, right, it is going to pass it to T3. You are able to understand all the differences? No, you are confused, right? Hello, Nita?
No.
No,
Hello?
your voice is breaking. Tell me.
Hello, can you hear me, Ram?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Are you able to understand, or do you want me to repeat once again?
No, that is fine. I understood that.
Yeah. Propagate means it will not give any settings of its own. It just uses whatever settings came from the previous
one
stage.
and passes on to the next.
Next one. Set means it is going to create the settings, and it is and it will propagate it to the next stage. Clear means it will not accept anything coming from the previous stage, or it will not pass it on to the next stage. It will create its own settings and it will use it. Okay. The default thing would always be propagate only. That is what the preserve partitioning flag corresponds to. Coming to the configuration file, right? There are two sections: node pool and resource constraints. The difference between node pool and resource constraints and node map constraint is here for pools. You know the concept of pools in the configuration file, right? I told like it is the way that we can club 2 or 3 nodes based on our requirements. In the node configuration file, if you remember, the first one will be node name. The second one will be fast path name. That means the network name, like your IP, how you are able to identify your system uniquely in the network. So every node also will be having a network name, that is your fast path name. And then coming to that resource disk, scratch disk, that hard disk and the RAM you are going to mention. And above that you can actually have pool, the name of a pool also, that logically groups number of nodes into one group, so that you can use it in such a way that if your search stage requires a good amount of memory, you can actually use that pool. Similar concept. Now, if you have already defined pools, right? Now I told you in data stage you have got the flexibility in such a way that you can actually set each and every stage to run on its own set of nodes also. Okay, in data stage, in a job, this T1 can be set to made on 2 node, T2 can be set to run on 3 node, and T3 can be set to run on 4 node as well. There is no restriction like for the complete job only one node file should be used. One node configuration, predefined set of nodes should be used. No, that concept is not there. The concept is we can actually make T1 to run on its own dedicated set of nodes. T2 can also be run on its own dedicated set of nodes. So now let us say I have opened a T1's this properties page. Here I can actually make it to run on pool 1 or pool 2. Now it is not being shown. The reason being I haven't created any of the pools in my default apt configuration file. Okay. Here actually I can select if I have created that particular new file, say ram.apt, I can actually select ram.apt, and here whatever pools are there, right, I can actually select a particular pool part. So that I can ask the stage to run on that particular pool. That particular pool will be having 1 or 2 nodes out of the configuration file. Here, let us say I haven't got any nodes from the default.apt now. I don't have any nodes, so I can actually create nodes out of fly also. Come to node map constraints part and just click on this browse button. See, here I will be able to see node 1 or node 2. I'm just, if let us say 4 nodes are there, I can select node 1 plus node 2 and I can click on OK. So by default, it is going to create a particular pool kind of thing here on the fly. In the configuration file, you won't see any pools, but here if I decide like this particular stage should run on 2 node file, I can actually click here and I can select those 2 nodes whatever I require, and I can click on OK, so that this particular stage will run only on the nodes that are being defined here. Fine.
Okay.
That is what the concept of this particular advanced tab. Coming to this NLS map, this is national language support. National language support in the sense, see, if you are going to process, let us say if you are going to process some Japanese character set, okay, the major thing that comes to your mind is, see, English sorting order is there. A should come before B, B should come before C. The sorting order is there. How can you know the sorting order of this particular Japanese characters? You don't know. And also the rule sets that are being used for Japanese characters might be different, and also the systems, the way the process the Japanese characters should also be different. Okay, we are not very much aware about the new character set other than English. So each country will be having, see, the way we represent money here, it is in dollars, rupees. In US it is in dollars. In Japanese, we need to have its own mechanism of identifying the date formats, identifying the money formats, okay, identifying the sort order formats. So everything is specific to its own country. And here, whatever you are able to see here, right, these are various NLS map character sets. This is national language support maps. Now, these maps will not come by default. Okay, this is a separate installation. If you don't have that installation, this NLS map would be disabled. Okay, along with the data stage, they will ask you, do you want any NLS map? Okay, so you generally saying all the companies will buy this NLS map package also. Okay, it is not much, not heavy licensed thing, but they will not serve in a free way. So you need to buy it. So once you buy it and install it, right, you will get all these options here. All these options. These all options corresponds to some particular country's characters will be present. See here, if you see Roman, you are able to see here Roman, right?
Yeah.
Here Roman, something like that. So if these are all the character sets that are specific to one particular region, okay, and one particular here if you are able to see some of the IBM character sets also there. These are actually specific to IBM, which they have customized for some of the rule sets, some of the characters and all. So if you use these, right, you will be able to process the Japanese characters or whatever may be the new characters that comes into your project, you will be able to deal with them. Okay, it is something like Japanese data. If you are going to deal, you have to sort it in Japanese way. You have to give the date format structure in Japanese way and money formats and all. So everything will be taken care by this NLS map if you can select the proper one. You understood the national language support, right?
Yeah.
Okay, generally this would be provided by your admin. This setting will be done by your admin only. This is not your part. And this is how your NLS map is going. Now coming to the core properties of DB to UDB. So here you are able to see query type as enter custom SQL statement means user defined SQL. Okay, use SQL builder tool means that graphical tool. Okay, generate class, select class means from column list enter other classes means this is your auto generated SQL. Load SQL from a file at runtime means this is something extra that comes with DB2 API. Something extra in the sense, the above three options you are able to understand, right? User builder SQL means in our enterprise edition we have got that GUI way of writing the query, right? SQL builder,
Yep.
that one. And generate SQL class from column list means there are two ways that you can do it: table mode and auto generated mode. So this here auto generated mode. Okay. And enter custom SQL means user defined SQL. You can write the SQL. Load SQL from a file at runtime means this one will ask for file name, and you have to give the file name during the runtime. Whatever the SQL that is being written inside that file, right, it is going to use that particular SQL. This is something new came with this one. And coming to the options, this is prefetch rows. That means how many number of rows that has to be, what is it, the bundling concept I told, right? It will not read one by one. It is going to read something like some 1000 or 2000 in a bundle, and it is going to move accordingly. So this is columns tab, and here you can actually write the query. Okay, enter custom SQL statement there you have selected, and here you can write the query. And here this advanced tab I will tell you in some other class about this thing. At the end of the session we can actually discuss, not today, coming day. Okay. This is about DB to UDB when you use it the source. The other way of writing the queries as you use the same thing. It just got appeared here, and we can write the queries here. And before and after queries are there, right? There you have seen that before query and after subquery. So this is the way you can write it here. Fine. Any doubts so far in this particular UI? UI is different, but all the options are same. Nothing extra came other than only UI got changed. And when you use it to the target also, if you know one enterprise and one connector, that's sufficient. All the stages will be having the same settings. Now see again here, all these things are same. Coming to the input section, here in the SQL section, use SQL builder tool for writing your own insert or update or delete statements. Generate update action from options and the columns tab. From options and the columns tab, see whatever columns that you have defined, it will write it one. That means auto generated way of writing the update actions. Enter custom SQL statement means you can actually write your own statements here. And before and after subquery as usual. These are user defined DDLs. If you want to execute some of the DDL statements as well, you can write it from here. That's it. This is about DB to API. Any doubts so far from your database stages?
No, not really.
Okay. Then we are going to start with processing stages.
Okay. One question, Ram. How long do you think is required for the whole course again?
Now for the processing stages and the sequence stages, 13 hours to 14 hours. Why? Because actually it takes 18 hours, but I am planning to decrease it to 14 to 15 hours. Decrease in the sense no concepts would be removed, a bit faster way of teaching. I will what we say, tell something fastly. 14 hours it would take for at least 12 hours to 13 hours it would take for explaining you the processing stages and the sequence stages. Okay. After that 6 hours, right, as I have sent you that Excel sheet, I will be concentrating on some of the major server jobs, and then you what is a small demo about these particular quality stage aspects. And if you,
when you say sequence stages, is it the sequence jobs?
Sequence jobs.
Okay.
You are having knowledge about them?
No.
Okay.
Like
so
it was like from next week or the week after, I should be starting with the Datastage. I have requested all the installables and access in my office. So I
right?
should be starting. Yeah.
So this Saturday, Sunday, actually there is a mistake. The reason being I was not able to connect properly, right? So that's why your complete schedule has got spoiled.
Oh, no problem, Ram. What I was thinking is it should be fine because
what I planned is this Saturday, Sunday, if we can sit for some 8 to 9 hours, right? Saturday, Sunday, both 2 times a day connectivity, 2 times a day, not complete session.
Actually, if you don't mind, we can continue like this way itself, like 2 hours per day should be fine with me.
2 hours per day, okay.
And one more thing I had is,
tell me.
actually by December 22nd, I am going on vacation. I'm coming to India, and I'll be back only by February 10th.
So what I can do now, if you are okay for the server jobs part, right? The server jobs part, it is not that much important, and whatever I have promised more than that I will give, but I will give pre-recorded videos. Is it fine for you only for the server jobs?
Or
So
what
that in
I
your free
wanted
time you
to
can
ask
actually
you
hear.
was, yeah, that is one thing. Or another option I wanted to check with you is like, will you be available by February?
The long-term commitment means what it happens, right? That time, if I get any opportunity to move to state, something like that, again it will be a problem for you.
Okay.
So it is
Okay.
after 2 months, right? We are not sure how, and these people also, if we not close the session within, if we not close the session within a duration, they will be stopping the complete pay.
Oh,
You got the
okay.
problem also, right? So in that way it would be. So what I can plan is, I will make sure that you will get all the topics, even extra topics also for you, like server jobs. I will, in your free time, if you want to have this data stage to be known to you in a, what we say, in a quick way, what I can do, if you find some free time, I will be sending you video tutorials of server jobs also. Okay? Those would be very
Okay.
crispy clear. You can understand Telugu, right?
No.
Not at all?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
In between, it was actually taught to some other people like you. Okay.
Okay.
So sometimes if there is any person from Telugu, right, they might be asking a question in Telugu. It's not so frequent. But this trainer would be explaining them in English only. Okay. So if you
Okay.
want, I can upload the server jobs part so that you can complete this particular thing a bit faster. If you want, or else I can take the thing. If you
Okay, it's like, do you have the video or the recorded part for which you have done for someone else also?
yes, yes, yes,
You may have that as well, right? So that
yes.
should also be helpful.
But server
So,
jobs, right? So anyway, you are not going to use it. That's why I'm
yeah, that's what.
scripting like server. Parallel jobs and all are required. So I will tell you. If
Yeah,
you get
I
any doubt
need a
and all,
class in parallel jobs, definitely.
yeah,
That is for sure. And for server jobs, maybe we can do that way.
yeah, then it would be fine.
Depending upon the time actually, because even I am really busy nowadays.
Yeah.
I have work in office with the news project and all those stuff, and even like after coming back, I'm going on vacation, right? So I need to set up for everything for that too.
Okay. So we will look clearly into the processing stages and sequence stages when you are done with the parallel jobs thing. Okay.
Okay.
So parallelly, I will be giving you the server jobs in your free time. Let us see daily in both the what we say these times we are not able to spend more than 2 hours, right? So in your daytime, if you find some time, you can actually go through these server jobs videos. They are not that much important, but whatever I have promised, right? More than that, you will be able to see in that videos. Just for your understanding sake, it will not be helpful generally in your 8.5 version. They will not be using any server jobs, but you can actually have these videos and you can look into it. Okay, so that
Okay.
we can spend some what we say important part in these sequence jobs and this what we say
Okay.
processing stages. In sequence jobs, I will cover if, some of the concepts as well. If you are okay with this one server jobs, why? Because by the time I complete these parallel jobs and sequence jobs, it would be 38 hours more than that. At least 2 hours I should give you to ask any doubts and all, right? So that is my plan. What do
Yeah,
you say?
because what I was
I will cover.
thinking, that should be
Hmm,
fine with me.
okay.
By December, like only if you count only the weekdays, if you come the next week, it's 5 days,
Hmm.
and the week after that, I have 3 more days. So it's like only 8 days.
8 days,
Weekends,
right?
I don't think it will be possible. Not definitely not this weekend. Maybe next weekend I can try. I'm not sure.
Okay, okay, no problem. See, next weekend if you sit also, we can cover the sequence part and these parallel jobs. See, only covering parallel jobs and sequence jobs, no, don't worry, we can actually complete if you sit for 1 weekend. 1 weekend in the sense, the Saturday, Sunday, we can give a long stretch as well. No problem for me, like 8 hours, day, morning 2 hours, evening 2 hours, so we can complete for 2 days. My morning 2 hours, my evening 2 hours means, again, you also have to sit 2 times a day, two
That should
hours
be
a day.
fine. But I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure about my work as well, right? So I'm just looking into it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
vacation means surely you will be having some work around to for shopping also.
Yeah, that's true. That is why I'm not able to do it on weekends. This weekend I have plans for that. So next weekend
Yeah.
I'll try actually.
Okay, no problem, no problem. We will be able to cover all the processing stages and sequence stages. If these two gets completed, your what we say, generally speaking, your parallel edition will be completed. Whatever the things that extra I promised right from the Excel sheet, I will give you the video tutorials that you can actually complete parallelly as well in your office timings and all. You can hear it. Okay. If you have got any doubts, we can actually discuss on them also.
And
What do you
one
say?
more thing, like even after the class is done, is there any way that I can contact you, like, even through big classes?
Yeah,
In
that
case
one
if
we
I
will
have
speak
doubts?
about. We will speak about it. That one at the end of the session.
Okay.
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 Oh,
Okay.
surely
And
we will speak about it, but at the end of the session we will speak about it. Okay?
okay.
Yeah, tell me.
No, let's actually continue then. I was just worried about if I'll be able to complete it before I go
Yeah,
to vacation.
stages and sequence stages, those are important for you as you are going to work on 8.5. Server jobs, I actually thought to what we say, decrease the time that I'm going to spend on processing stages and these sequence stages, and to spend what we say, accommodate the server jobs in between. Now, if you are okay with video tutorials of server jobs, right, I can aramse complete all the concepts in processing stages and these particular sequence stages coolly. And if you can give me one particular weekend, right, we can complete these two. And I will upload these server jobs. You can go through them. Okay, those are not that much important. That's why nobody is going to use those server jobs nowadays.
Okay, and including weekend session, you said it will
Not this
need
weekend.
12
It
hours,
can be
right?
next weekend. 12 hours
Okay.
will minimum 12 hours. If I wanted to explain the server jobs manually.
Okay, without server jobs, for the parallel jobs and the processing stages with the parallel jobs and the
If I
sequential.
explain properly, it would take some 16 hours, 15 to 16 hours. From now on, it would take 15 to 16 hours.
Okay.
One weekend, if you sit, everything will be completed. 8 hours one day if it's gone, right? By this weekend, by next Friday itself, you will be done.
Okay, I'll try
Not
for
even
that.
next Friday is required, right? Tomorrow, if I complete some 8 hours, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, if I complete 8 hours, okay, some 6 more hours would be there. Just for 2 days, if you sit after Monday, Tuesday, if you sit, it is done. Parallel jobs part. Even if
Okay.
you are not able to connect this weekend, we can actually plan to connect next weekend. Okay, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
or if it is that much important, one night also I can actually sit. If you want, if you want to be completed, if you want
No,
to get it
one night
completed
as in it
everything.
would be my day. If it is a weekday, then I'll be in office. So there is no point in me asking you to sit at night.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Before this vacation, aren't you going to take any leaves
Yeah, I'm taking leaves from 22nd
from 22nd? Okay.
because we
Okay, then
already have the Christmas vacation from 22nd to 2 weeks there, and then I'm taking 3 weeks leave, and I'll be back only on February 10th.
okay, okay, got it. Surely we will be able to complete it, but by the chance if there would be any problem from your end, as you are saying you are going for vacation, sometimes it may not be possible as per your planning. Sometimes you may be in a position to go and shop for something. So if you miss something, right? I have got the video tutorials of my classes as well for parallel jobs. Okay, if we
Okay.
miss something, I can upload that one also. It's not a big deal. Okay, but I don't prefer for parallel jobs giving the videos. The reason being, you will this is important, the important thing. If
Yeah,
that
I
is the
know.
case, then we can upload the videos. It is not a big deal. For server jobs, I will upload the videos. For parallel jobs, 100% I will not prefer it. But if situation comes in such a way, everything is explained in a proper way. For the earlier person, very detailed I have explained. The same thing I will upload to you. It's not a
Okay.
big deal. If that situation comes.
Okay.
Okay, you no need to bother about that. I have got all the videos.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
shall we start with the
And
processing? Yeah, tell
yeah,
me.
sure. And what is that which says real-time stages?
Real-time stages are something like, see here. One second.
No, I was just looking into the Excel. If you want to go back one by one, then it's fine with me.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. See, real-time stages are this one. XML input and XML output would be helpful. Okay, and Java client, Java transformer. If you wanted to use, have you got any knowledge regarding the Java?
No, not at all.
And these things will not be used as well. Very rarely, out of 100, only
Actually,
0.1% will be used.
the Datastage that we are using, it's like we are going to have it with Cbel.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how it's going to be, but I just know that we have Cbel as one of the interface.
One of the source, right?
Source, it could be source.
Yeah. I haven't worked with Cbel, but
Okay.
but it won't be a big issue. Only the basic connectivity only you will be having with the Cbel. Once the data comes in, everything again comes back to your court.
I think it should be like it should be putting into a file or something like that.
Will they give
An
you the
XML
file, or are they asking you to connect it to Cbel?
I'm not sure how it
I
works
don't
because
think they will ask
the
you to
whole
connect it to
project is
Cbel. They
from
will be I
Apple.
don't think they will ask you to connect it to Cbel systems directly. They will be giving you the source data in terms of files, I think.
Okay, could be. I'm not
Generally,
sure because I was not inducted into the project yet, so I'm not sure. They are actually converting from Informatica to Datastage.
No, it won't be. And if you are able to see how the Informatica, will they give access to Informatica systems as well? The
I'm
code
not
that
sure.
has been written inside the Informatica.
I think yes. I'm not sure about that.
If they give you that access, right, then it is very easy for you. Like if you are able to see Informatica and Datastage, right, everything would be the same. All the transfer here, whatever stages you are having, right, your whatever transformations, here whatever these processing stages are there, right, there you call it as transformation. Whatever processing stages here, like joiner, there you have got the joiner. All these transformations are there also. Okay, it will be if they give you the job, right, then you can directly look into it and you can directly code it here.
Okay.
It is very much easy. You will be
I'm
having
not sure
complete
if
source
they
as
give.
well.
Generally,
They would give. They would give at least one person. They would give.
Yeah, because they need to install the same software also, so I'm not sure about that. Maybe we'll have to.
Okay. If you are having the job, then you can directly look into what they have used the transformations, not only for the source one, for the complete job design as well, you can use it.
Okay.
Okay. So in the real-time part, right, we will be looking into this XML input, XML output, and web services. Okay, web services is time-consuming thing. Why? Because it needs to have some knowledge about that web service description language, WSDL part. Okay, that thing. I will explain you a bit quickly these two: XML input and XML output. I have already written the jobs, right? So it won't take much of the time.
Okay.
Okay. Restructure. Have I placed any restructure thing? Column export, column import.
Yeah, I'll place it as column export. 1 second. Column export and column import.
Yeah, these are easy only. These are something like we are going to club together 2 or 3 columns and exporting it into one particular column. At the end, again, you can again bring back the data into 4 different columns. We will see. These are restructuring columns. Like in the source, if you have got 4 columns, right, and you want to export that one, clubbed together into one particular column, and we will be exporting it. At the end, again, if you want to revert it back, you can again bring back that 4 columns data into 4 different columns.
Exporting as in we use it in different stages, or we export it out of data stage?
No. That is a way of representing the data.
Okay.
We are actually restructuring the data that is present within the columns. That is what the meaning of the thing. And real time means we are actually interacting outside of data stage. So here, if you see XML input and XML output, these XML files will be given by different applications, right? The way all the today's applications are working through the internet, the way they communicate is through XML only. So if you want to interact, if your data stage gets some XML file from an external application, then you have to use XML input or XML output to read the data. Similarly, web services also. Okay.
Okay.
Web services means, you know, right? See, if there is an addition function inside Java, and you know that it is an overhead to write within Java. Earlier you have written something in C. The same add functionality, let us say you have completed in C part, but again the same scenario came for you to write once again in Java. So what you can do, instead of writing the code in Java, you can expose that particular C code written in C in terms of web services. It is something like a URL would be sent from C. Something like if you are going to write Java program, right? If you are going to write some Java program, right? Inside this Java, let us say you are going to use some add functionality here. Okay. Oh, after so many days I'm using this pen and I'm not able to draw it properly. Okay, add functionality should be used, and generally speaking it should be written in Java only, as you are writing within the Java. But you know that it is a big program and you don't want to write it once again. So you felt like already you have written the same program in C. What you can do, you can expose whatever code that you have written in C as web service. Okay. And this web service will be used in place of this add functionality, and this web service looks like a URL. This URL accepts the parameters. For add, what might be the parameters? That 2 plus 3 means that those two input parameters, 2, 3. So this would be a URL, and here the input parameters. URL space 2 space 3 means you are actually calling the program written in C. Okay, and you are passing the input variables as 2 and 3 to the C program. It returns the output and it can be assigned here to some variable. That is how it works. So it is actually promoting the cross-platform functionality. Like in Java program, if you want to use code written in C, this is the only way that is available in the market. Okay, you understood how this is going to work, right? Web services.
Yeah.
From the basic concept, like what is web service and all. So there is a predetermined language. How can Java understand the code written from C? So web services came as a mediator, and web service as a mediator it came, right? So both Java and C should respect some of it, or should understand some of the formats from web services. Format in the sense it describes some language, it provides some language, web services descriptor language. Okay, WSDL file would be sent. Based on the WSDL file, you will be able to identify what are the input parameters this URL will accept, and what output that we get out of this URL. So all this info will be there in the WSDL file. Okay, that file will be understood by the Java program as well. So while coding itself, developer looks into the WSDL file and thinks like, okay, this URL accepts these two parameters and it gives this output. Once he has got that information, right, he will directly call the URL and provide the parameters. Okay, now going back to our discussion, we will look into our surrogate key concept. What is meant by surrogate key? Earlier, when we are speaking about slowly changing dimensions, right, SCD1 and SCD2, when I spoke about SCD2, I explained about this surrogate key. What is the surrogate key?
I don't remember actually.
Okay, surrogate key is something like, see, in SCD2, one second, I will open that particular thing.
I remember that SCD part, but if you just start, maybe I'll just remember, because I'm not able to recollect it totally.
No problem, no problem. Where I have placed it, SCD1, SCD2. So SCD2 in the sense, see, I told you, right, yesterday example, like if a customer comes to me asking like his address got changed, what I will be doing? I will be having some SCD current indicator, and then effective start date, effective end date. Based on these based on these three columns, I will be able to store his history as well. I will basically insert one extra record into my database, which corresponds to his current address, and I will be deactivating his yesterday's address. Deactivating in the sense, I will convert the current indicator to no, saying that this is not the current record, and I will give effective end date as yesterday's date, saying that till yesterday he stayed in the past address. From today to he is currently staying in the new address. That is what I will be saying. I will be storing in the database. One second, I will show you that one. See here.
I remember that table, but the only thing I remember is surrogate key.
Here actually one extra column would come. That is called your surrogate key. Now, generally speaking, in a database, we should have this, if type 2 concept is not there, this customer key would be unique. So that might be the primary key for that particular table to identify each record in the table, right?
Now, now I get it. Like to have a unique key for that table, we need it.
Yeah, now for the customer key, as the same customer is coming back again saying that my address got changed, we need to insert the same customer key again and again. So the uniqueness has been lost. So what we will do, we will create this surrogate key which will always be unique, and this surrogate key plus customer key will be considered as a
primary key.
composite primary key. We consider this surrogate key plus custody key as a composite primary key.
Okay.
So the surrogate key doesn't have any business meaning. Just to provide that uniqueness, we have actually used it. Okay, only customer key will be having the business importance. Okay, now coming to this surrogate key, how can we create the surrogate key? That is the topic now. Surrogate key can be operated in such a way that it can be operated in such a way that it may not accept any inputs, may not give any outputs, it without any input and output links it can work. With just input it can work. With just output it can work. With both it can work. Okay. Now first what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the existing surrogate key then, so that I can show you properly. So surrogate key will be actually surrogate key can be created in two different ways. Some file way, file way in the sense there would be a state file. Today, if I am running the surrogate key generator, let us say 20 till 20, 1 to 20 are the numbers that has been generated. Tomorrow, if I am going to run once again the surrogate key, it shouldn't start again from 1, right? It should start from 21. Then only the uniqueness would be prevail, right? So there internally there should be a file which actually holds that tomorrow's number that needs to be generated, right? You are able to follow me? Today, if I run the surrogate key generator, right, from 1 to 20 numbers has been generated. Tomorrow morning, I will be shutting down the Datastage. Tomorrow morning, once again, if I open the surrogate key and if I run, it should start from 21, not once again from 1 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to start from 21, there should be a way to store that tomorrow's start value would be 21. There should be a way to store the tomorrow's value, right? So there are two ways. First one is state file. State file means it is some text file. Inside the text file, it will always hold tomorrow's value that needs to be generated. So tomorrow when I click on this surrogate key generator, right, it picks from that state file and it will start running from there. That is how your state file works. And the second way is using DB2 sequence, sorry, not DB2, database sequencer. Sequence, you know, right, in database sequencer, how it is going to work. It is meant for providing a uniqueness, that unique values that can be used as primary keys in some of the tables. You know the database sequencer concept, right?
Yeah.
Database sequence. Create a sequence, some name you can give and start with, okay, increment by max value, no cache. Yeah, that sequence we can actually use it here. So here what it is going to do, Datastage, it will not generate all these particular sequence values, sorry, the surrogate key values on its own, but it uses the help of, but it takes the help of this database sequence. That is how there are two ways I told, right? First one is state file, second one is database sequence. From database sequence, it is having a database sequence also. Tomorrow if you come and start, it will not generate whatever values it has already generated, right? So their database will take care of all the state file concept. You no need to worry about the state file there. Okay, database itself will take care of it. You will just post whatever values that are being created by the sequencer into Datastage. You are able to follow me, right?
Yeah.
So that is how surrogate key works. Now see, now I am working with surrogate key without any input and output links. Now I just wanted to delete this particular surrogate key file. It is located in administrator desktop source surrogate key file.txt. Okay. What I am going to do, I am going to first delete it and I will show you how it works. If I give video files, right, if you get anywhere stuck or if you are not able to understand, generally I will be explaining it in a proper way only, but if you get any doubts, you can contact me. As I am giving video files, right, it's not a big deal. If you call Baswa, right, if you have got any issues with understanding any of the concept, you can call me directly, I will explain you.
Okay.
No need to find any times also, we can directly work out on that. Now, okay.
So what is that configuration that was there?
I told you, right, actually we can make that each job can run on its own configuration file.
Okay. Yeah.
Here I have written my own configuration file, ram.apt.
Okay.
So I don't want to use default.apt file. So I have made sure that my file will be picked.
Okay.
You can make it like if you write tomorrow like nita.apt, you can make your job to use that particular nita.apt by using that apt_config_ file environmental property in the job properties parameter page, right? You can add that environment variable apt_config file. There you just remove the default.apt name and put your nita.apt. It would pick your config file.
Okay. Around, can you Do you have some time tomorrow morning, like today, your time today night?
Today night my time, right? The reason being today is Friday night, right? We going to
Okay.
parties.
Okay.
Uh, that's why
No
I'm
problem.
actually tomorrow evening, Saturday night. Anyway, tomorrow you are having you are free, right? Saturday night, if you want, I can connect.
Saturday night means your time or my time?
My time Saturday night. Tomorrow, generally tomorrow you won't be having office, right?
I do have office. It's Friday, right?
Oh shit, sorry.
Tomorrow is Friday for me.
Okay,
Saturday,
okay.
that's what I'm trying to make sure, think about what Saturday my time in the night should be good. Or it's okay. We can, I'll try to manage like every day next week so that if we have 3 hours,
Okay,
then we can manage.
okay.
Like that itself will give us 15 hours, right? 5 days and 3 hours should give us 15 hours.
Okay, but if I miss one day, again, you will face problem. That is the reason we should be on safe side, like at least 4 to 5 hours. If we are able to complete on weekend,
Mm-hmm.
we will have some
Yeah, and
flexible time.
we'll look forward for the next weekend, not this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
Next
it will be
weekend,
fine.
hopefully. Yeah.
Uh, we should make sure that these processing stages and sequencer should be completed. Then
Mm-hmm.
almost it would be fine. The other things I can give you the video tutorials. It will in your free time you can actually go through them. It is more than what Excel sheet has, and I will give you
Mm-hmm.
that quality stage PPT as well. That is
Okay.
self-explanatory. With I will give lab exercise also in that one. If you want how to
Mm-hmm.
use
Okay.
that quality stage, it would be sufficient.
Okay. No, we will make sure like 12 to 14 hours, right?
Hmm.
We will make sure that we
Try
get
to
that.
complete 20 hours. We will make sure that we will complete 20 hours, but time adjustment we can do it and we can complete. But 20 hours, I'm not sure we will be able to cover the server jobs part.
Even
You are
at
able to
20
follow.
hours, we will not be able to cover server jobs.
If you are okay, I will explain some of the what you say real-time scenarios as well. Okay, it's not a big issue. We will start as what I felt like is anyway. If I'm going to give you the videos on server jobs, I can utilize complete 20 hours for parallel jobs, right? I can explain you a bit more detailed way. Like I can show you in sequencer there are two concepts like restartability and multi-instance. I can show you that practically, right? So something like that. Those are important actually. Without those two, you can't do any real-time job designing. So
Okay.
something like that. Those are not part of the training, but those will help you. Anyway, if you are going with server jobs as video tutorials, what to do with the last 2 or 3 hours?
No, no, we should, if we have the time, then we will definitely go ahead. But my concern is about the time.
Okay, okay, then no problem. I will first complete whatever I have promised, right? I will complete, and based on the remaining time, you decide whether to go with
Yeah.
server job videos
So,
plus real-time scenarios or only server jobs manually. Also, I can do it.
now what I would prefer is we will first go through all the processing stages,
Huh.
and then if you could explain me some real-time scenarios, because for me the purpose or what I'm looking forward is to work, right? I'm directly into a project, and that's what I need more
So what we will
than the
first do
theory
is
for
we
an
will
interview.
complete the look into his processing stages, sequence stages, and these multi-instance and checkpoint restartability. I will explain. And once these concepts get complete, we will look into the time. How many more hours are pending? Okay,
Okay.
and we will see if how much time you are able to what you say work out on that. And if you feel like no more hours will be spent, right, I will directly upload the video server jobs part and the PPT I will give you for the quality stage. Or the 2 hours if you are able to cover, right, 2 or 3 hours if it is pending, we can complete it.
Okay. And
Okay.
out of these processing stages, very few, like you have 26 processing stages, right? Out of that, aggregated, at least I've seen what an aggregator is. Copy,
Hmm.
I've seen.
What I will
Join
do,
and
right?
lookup and merge is fine. The rest I've not even seen, so I need that. Okay, let's not waste time.
No,
Because I'm a
I,
bit concerned and I
no, no,
might
you
have.
don't worry. See, one day if you actually ask me to in my night time also, if you find you want to have some of the discussion in the night of my time, if you find some idle time, no problem. I will wake up and I will complete it. As you are having some concern, right? I can do it, but you need to find some time. Based
Yeah,
on that,
that's
I
what.
will wake up.
There's a point in me asking you for the next because I'm anyway.
Maybe on Saturday, Sunday, something. Your Saturday, Sunday, something like that. In the night,
Yeah.
after your
Okay.
shopping, after some rest.
Yeah, we actually can look forward for next weekend because this weekend I don't think I can do that because I have office on Saturday. I have some office work on Saturday, and I need to do
But
my
don't
personal
worry.
work
The
on Saturday.
reason being, I have got the video tutorials for all. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if something worst happens, right, I have got the video tutorials for all, so I will give it to you.
Okay.
If really that is the case, if it comes into picture, then we can look forward for that.
No, we will maximum try to finish off the processing stages because that is what I think is more important,
So yes,
right? And the real time scenarios which you said you will be explaining.
yes,
Others maybe yeah, I can just at least I can read through or I can learn as and when I start doing. The basic things if I don't know then I won't be able to start at all.
yes. We will. I will cover a bit faster these processing stages. Then I will give a proper insight in all the properties. I will be explaining. Run button, it's not that much priority, but people will be stressing on. I want to have look into that run button.
Run
So
button
it
is like what is that?
here in this thing, I have already written all the code, right? They want this run button to be clicked and to be shown in the director, and it will hang for some time. It will eat up the time.
No,
So
that is fine with me
I
because
will explain you wherever the run button is required. Now this run button is required in this scenario, so I will manage that one. I will manage that one
okay.
without your what we say observance. I will complete this thing. Now,
So
let
this
me
is the surrogate key is one of the processing stages, right?
Yes, surrogate key is one of the processing stages. Why I am going to start with surrogate key is the next concept I am going to tell you is the SCD stage. So
Okay.
inside this SCD, surrogate key comes into picture. So
Okay.
before there are only some of the concepts you told 26 are there, right? In that only 12 will be time consuming. Others can be dragged like anything. So first 12 needs to be explained in a proper way. So that is the
Okay.
reason. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a surrogate key. See, without
Okay.
having any input and output, the surrogate key properties, see,
Mm-hmm.
key source action will come, and here you will be able to see create and delete. That means you are going to create a state file. This is the state file. I told, right, surrogate key can be actually work with two ways. The first one is flat file, that is state file. State file means can be a .txt file. Okay, it will be holding the value what the next surrogate key run should start with. Okay, and the other way is
The organizer has ended the session and this call will be disconnected.